we're going to try is called Mr. Robot. This is a 2015 machine and one of the best machine in the WordPress website. And today's target, we're going to penetrate all the skills one by one. So over here, we have the IP address 192.168.0.101. So we can see we have an interface over here one by, and let's try first thing. I'm going to do a backend and map scan to identify the number of hosts on my target site with a capital T. IP address 1111. So over here we can see that we have an IP address which is our port 22, which is closed over there. We have port 80, which is our HTTP over here server. Port 443, which is our HTTPS, and no other valid certification we found. Let's see the source code. Sometimes this cookies reveal some sensitive information. Like if you want to know about the website, which technology they are using, you can try to look their cookie parameters, and over here you will see something like WP settings. So what does WP means over here? WP means over here WordPress. WP settings. This website is basically based on WordPress website. And sometimes they show some information if the password doesn't save on the server side on the cookie parameter. So let's have a look of our Nikto also. So through the Nikto, again, we can identify some misconfiguration services over there one by one, which can lead us for information gathering. And we're going to try all the possibilities. So access protection, Apache mode negotiation is enabled with the multi-views, which allows attacker to easily brute force file names. We have an admin page. See, it's gonna reveal all the things one by one on the server side. Some license.txt file. Okay, if you find the license.txt file, you can also reveal which the website is based on. So if you check the license.txt file, you will see the website is based on WordPress. It's all about the recursion part. And sometimes we have to reveal some sensitive information like this is a WordPress of 2018. So through 2018, we can make its banner grabbing part. Which version was there? So let's have a look what else we found. We have an admin directory. Okay, let's check this one. If you can access the admin directory. Okay, the admin ID has been stuck over here. Something happened. So let's close this one. Let's try a simple Derbuster because I can see this was a WordPress website, and the most important thing is to check all the possibilities one by one. So license.txt, index.html file. So let's try the Derbuster. We're gonna try Derbuster to identify some sensitive informations. Let's try to use the crawler part. Word list, Derbuster, be recursive. Hmm. So the PHP is the most important thing. So let's start. So we can see over here they have some blogs directory, which is 403, image directory, and some other directories over there. One by one, it's gonna reveal all the sensitive informations. We can see WP content directory over there. Some blog directory, which is 403 forbidden, videos 403, audio 403, WP content. So WP content is blank over here. Admin directory is showing 200. WP includes 403 forbidden, and it's gonna take some time. Or you can try one thing: when you find a website, just look for the robot.txt files. If you can find any sensitive directories on server side. And what we have over here in the robot.txt file, we can see there is a file called App Society, and there is a one more file which is your E1 out of 3. E1 out of 3 over here, which reveals some sensitive informations that could be lead us for information part. So let's have a look over here one by one. What are these files actually? So let's try. Let's copy this one. Okay, let's copy this one over here, and I'm going to use my. Okay, let's do cd desktop. Let's use duplicate command with the HTTP, the target URL, and the file path. Response waiting, connecting. Why? Because the Derbuster is basically working over there. See. The major objective of the thing is to get all the recognition part, all the information that could be lead us for information for further stages. Yeah, the one file is downloaded. Let's try the second file. So let's have a look what exactly that file is for. The scanning is still going on. Okay, so this is a file which contains some random words over here. I can see some words. Okay, and what do we have over here in the key 1 out of 3? We have a hash value. Let's try to identify the hash. Hash hyphen identifier. So this is an MD5 hash. Let's have a look. So we're gonna use the terminal over here again, and I'm gonna use WC, which is a word count, length of the hyphen L length, and the file name. So there are around 8,58,160 words. Okay, let's see if we can use the short command. Short command is basically used to simply, what I will say, simply compress the formatted words, or you can say short the length of the words, or simply identify the unique codes. Okay, so let's have short hyphen help. Yeah. So if you doesn't know about the short, write man short over here. Write shorted concatenations of all files to standard output. So we can see the word in word can say concatenation. So let's separate the words in a proper way, which would be lead us for information gathering part. So our major objective over here is to simply penetrate or simply check all the possibilities one by one, which can be lead us for information part. So let's try this one. We're gonna use the -u command. We're gonna start from the unique values. So let's use sort -u, the F society word, and save this word on the same directory and name this one robot.txt. ls-all. Yes, we can see there's a file called robot.txt. Why I use a short command? Because there was some random words. So wc-l robot.txt, and now I can see there was around 11,000 now. In that specific, there was around some random words. That's why I simply change this one. I simply use a unique strings. And there are some hash values and some other words. So they have, over here we have a dictionary, a proper dictionary which can be lead us for brute forcing attack. But where are we going to use this one? We're going to check it later. Sometimes when you are simply penetration a website, you have to simply use the word list. So what else we have? Okay, let's stop this one. Let's see if we can access the server node. WP content. No. Can we access the blog? Forbidden. Okay, let's try WP login for establishing a database connection. WP admin for establishing a database connection. Wordpress support forum. So sometimes what will happen, this machine get crashed. So I'm going to restart this machine again. Let's try this one again. See this one, WP admin. Now this is working. And as per the data, the WP includes file was also there, but this one is forbidden. WP content, okay, there is nothing. But over here I can see we have a proper WP login.php, and which is redirecting the client request, redirect the client request to a different website. So this redirection is basically also a vulnerability of your URL manipulation vulnerability, which can redirect the client request to a different resource. For example, www.bing.com. If the redirection parameter can redirect the client request to any of the other websites, yeah. HTTP, yes. No. I was just trying to simply manipulate this one because redirect is basically used to send the client request to a different resource, which is not on the server side. So let's have a look over here again. So we have WP login, we have a username and admin. So over here there will be no use of SQL injection part. So in this scenario, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find if we can find any admin user or not. Let's use admin password, invalid username. So admin, there is no admin user. Is there any root user? No, there is no user. The password is filled is empty. Yes, it means there is a user root. Let's try Partho. The both of them was incorrect. So what we can do, we can try to perform a brute force attack with the help of the dictionary that we created. And this dictionary was, we got this dictionary from the website URL. Let's try have a look what we can do. But sometimes when you see a WordPress website, remember to use the WP scan also. WP scan is to check the WordPress website. Say this one. A normal application part over here. Info. Where is it? Yes. Web application analysis. You can see WP scan. And WP scan is used for identifying the bugs on the WordPress websites. So WP scan -update. Yes. Yes. So over here we have WP scan. I was using on my Kali version, latest Kali version. So you can use WP scan -update. So the most important thing is the updation part. When is completed, it means we are ready to use the WP scan. So I'm going to clear this out first of all. Sudo su. So we use WP scan help. So the most important thing when you are simply identifying the vulnerabilities on the WP scan, look for this thing, enumeration part, as I mentioned you all the time, -e. Why? Because -E stands for enumerate, and enumerate means recon. We need to identify the vulnerable plugins, the all plugins over here. -P popular plugins, the BT which is your vulnerable themes, AT which is your all themes, T stands for popular themes, TT stands for theme terms. But the most important thing is to find the vulnerable plugins or the themes and the popular plugins. So we're gonna use this one. So we're gonna use WP scan -U, which is a URL, and we're gonna use the URL over here. Invalid option. Okay, was you. Okay, new technology change a lot. Ah, URL. Sorry. Okay, do you want to update now or no? Default one. So if you are not specifying any of the things over there, it's gonna change its automated part. See this one. It seems like you are not updated your database. It's a normal thing. Let's leave this one. The URL, the headers they are using. See over here. The server they are using is Apache, X mode, passive detection. They are using robot.txt. There's a robot.txt file, aggressive detection, and there's an XML RPC seems to be enabled. XML RPC is basically to check all the number of directories on the server side. You can see from over here. You can use auxiliary, ping back, access, XML RPC, Ghost, WordPress, Ghost Scanner, readme.html file is over there. And the most important thing, the WordPress version we are running is 3.4.3. Or you can use the main, the BT, the plugin files. No WP vulnerable DB API token. So let's try -E to check the BT and the T and the P. BT for vulnerable plugins over here. Through the vulnerable plugins, the main objective is to identify all the possibilities. See this one. Aggressive passive threat. Didn't find any vulnerable plugins. But over here we can reveal that the WordPress version is running 4.3.27. So what we can do, we can search for the vulnerability on the search bar. WordPress 4. What was the version? 4.3. See, there are lots of vulnerabilities over there that can be used over. For example, username annotation, unauthorized password reset, unauthorized arbitrary file directions, viewing unauthorized password private post, XML RPC, multiple vulnerabilities are there. SQL injection is over there. These are the things that we use over there multiple times, but we have to check all the possibilities one by one. So over here, this one WP scan was not running, so that's why I used a different server. So let's have a look. What we're gonna do over here, we're gonna try a brute force attack on the server side. We're gonna try a brute force attack, which is called your broken authentication attack. Broken authentication attack is an occur when an attacker simply use phrases of words which will be performed in the brute force attack on the username and password parameter to get the exact user credentials. But sometimes when we are logged into a website, we have only 3 to 4 chances. Then after, it will depends on that. So what we can do, we're going to do 1 and 2, and I'm going to intercept the packet because we're going to use intruder over here. So this vulnerability we're going to try is called broken authentication, where an attacker will use a phrases of word list which will perform a getting an unauthorized access on the server side. So over here we can see the login page. So I'm going to send this one to intruder and drop the packet. So we have a host. 192.168.0.111 and the port number 80. And we're going to go to the positions, and we can see on the position there are lots of payloads. There are around 12 payloads positions. 12 payload position means the parameter values. But our main objective of this attack is to simply attack on the username part. Think about it. Think about the OWASP top 10. You have to coordinate both of the things. So I'm going to attack on this log part. Log 1. And the attack type I'm going to use sniper. Why? Because it's a single parameter attack. The payload, we're going to select the payload over here. We can select only one payload, and we're going to try to load our payload over here. And that would be on our robot.txt. That a word we find. And the words are around 11,000 words. So when you're doing a pen testing of a web application, think about it. You have to check all the possibilities. And the options, select the number of threads, the number of retries, and the pause. So let's try. So over here, you can see the content is 200. It means the code has been executed over there. So over here, we can see that there are around 11,000 words, and till now it's completed only 3,000 of words. Think about it. These are number of requests has been sent over there. Click on any of this one. You will see what a request from the client side, which is getting a log parameter, and the response, which showing you 200. But in the response, you have to check the behavior of the application. Password lost and found. Lost and found password. Error. You can see one by one. You can examine the things over here. But the most important part is to understand the behavior of the application. So you can see the status code. They all are same. But you have to examine the application with the help of length. See, through the length of the packet, you can examine that the execution part, that the username is Eloyd on the request of 5475, 5744, and 5743. The username that we got from the server side is Eloyd over there. See, this is our first username, Eloyd. Let's have a look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's accepting that the username is Eloyd is over there. The password you have entered for the username Eloyd is incorrect. It examine it. It's basically understandable that the username Eloyd is a part of that specific server. And there are many further things can be happen over there one by one. So let's try. Now that we know that this server is vulnerable to your SQL injection, I'm saying SQL injection. That now we can see that this attack part is Eloit. So let's try this one again, and this time I'm going to use I'm going to clear the tag, and in the login part I'm going to use the Eloit, and this time I'm going to attack on the server with the password field. Now we can attack on the password field attack. Again, the sniper part, same dictionary, and attack. So this time we can attack on the password parameter field. See this one. The username which I am using is Eloit, and it can try all the possibilities phrases on the password W part, PWD. So our major objective would be to check one by one all the possibilities, and which can be lead us for information gathering part, and which can be work for the further stages. And we're going to look for the exact variables. And we're going to check over here the 302 part. Yes, so over here we have let's see the length of the part. Okay, we didn't find anything till now. And we can see a 302 request. It means it found. It means it's an authenticated valid user with the username Eloit and the password. Show response in browser, copy the URL, and we are in. We are on the web server with the username Eloit and the password. When an attacker simply gains unauthorized access on the server side, it could reveal some sensitive information which can be lead us for something others. So the major objective of this machine was to simply penetrate the skills one by one, which can be lead us for gaining unauthorized access of the broken authentication part of OWASP top 10. See, we are on the server side. We are on the dashboard of the WordPress. So our major goals right now is to simply gain some more information, which can lead us for information part. So WordPress, we can see WordPress 5.5.1 version is available, but we know that this version is 4.3 point something. So our main objective over here is to simply check how we can get to the server side, how we can get access to the server. Now we have to look all the possibilities one by one. So I'm going to use over here, let's try how we can get WordPress reverse shell. We have WordPress security 7 layers. We have WordPress themes penetrate. There are lots of things we can use over here. Reading blogs will help you out for getting out all the things. They have given a reverse shell, which is on the add part. They have given, you can go to the plugin part on the server side, add plugins, upload plugins, and you can browse the plugin over here, and you can simply get reverse plugin.zip file, which is a reverse shell. Activate the plugin, and you will get a reverse shell over here. A reverse shell plugin. Or you can write a PHP code over there. See, a single PHP code. But over here, we're going to try something else. We're going to try to get to the appearance directory. In appearance, we can do a simple changes over on the application content management part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check for editor mode. Yes, we can access the editor mode, and in editor mode, you can see some pages over here, default pages, just like your 404 template, your archive template, your author bio.php template, comment template. These are some templates that you can use over here, and each and every template, for example, 404. This is a normal template, and this is a code that you can return over there. See. So what I'm going to do over here on the 404, I'm going to place a shell code of my reverse shell. So you can download the shell code from the Pentest Monkey reverse PHP reverse shell. Yes, you can download it over here. I already have installed on my local server. Let me show you. So that would be on my tools directory, and this is the PHP file. Yeah, so all we're gonna do is to simply place the code. So my IP address was 101, and the port number. You have to change the connection of the port and the IP address. That's it. A PHP code is given over here, a PHP shell. When it will execute, it will get a connectivity server side. Over, you can see socket condition is over there, IP and the port number, and they're using some arrays. I'm not good in programming, so I'm gonna leave this out. And we're gonna upload this payload. If you have the ability to upload this payload on the server side, it will be a good thing. So we can upload the payload, the PHP code, which has my IP address of my data address, which is my 101. Let me check my IP address again. Cross verification. 101. So over here, we're gonna try to get a reverse shell from the server side. But many times it will not be easy because you have to check the configuration files. When you see this one, the file is uploaded. That's a good sign that we have uploaded the file that could lead us to information. So netcat numeric listing logos port 4448. Let's try other thing. For example, now we have to execute the 404 template. You can try WP admin. I'm going to copy the URL and I'm going to paste it over here. And we're going to execute 404 template. Let's have a look. 404.php. See, we have a divot shell. The payload has been executed, and over here I can see a proper divot shell is over there. A reverse shell will be get access to any of the server, but you have to know the path of the file, where the path file will be executed. So the major objective of this machine is to simply you can simply think what from starting point, what are the steps we have taken to enumerate the services, and what are the further things we're going to take one by one. So my major concern is to check all the possibilities one by one and get to the root access to find the loopholes on the server. Find the loopholes and get access. That's the main point. So over here, let's use botmilk, line of isolation, and fire2. So let's look for Python. Why I'm looking for Python? Because over here we have only the shell, not the bash TTY. We need the TTY on the server side. So we can write bin bash -i and see we are daemon on the server side. Bin bash, which is your TTY terminal, -i interactive. Or you can simply use the Python command. Sorry, not this one. Or you can try this one also. If the commands are limited, or you can get the, you can break the gel shell. So we're gonna use TTY. Same thing will happen. There's nothing much difference. Export, done, that's done. Yes. So over here we are on the server, and the vulnerability that I'm going to introduce you today. This vulnerability is known as pseudo executable files. Pseudo executable files are the pseudo binaries, which is used for the specific user to run over there. And pseudo ID stands for set user ID number. It is a Linux feature that allows user to execute the file with the permission of a specific user. For example, the Linux ping command typically requires root permission in order to open a raw network sockets by making the ping program as sudo with a lower owner as a root. Ping execute with the, you can see, privileges anytime and a low privilege user part. S2ID features that when they used properly actually enhance the Linux security part also. So some of the applications which is run on the specific user. But over here, we're going to check the home directory first. So we can see there's a user on the home directory, which is your robot user. And over here we have read and write execution part. So we can do cd robot ls ethanol. And over here on the user robot, we can see there is a key 2 out of 3. And there's a raw password.txt. Let's see. And we don't have the permission to check this file. But we have the read permission of this file. So let's have a look. So over here we have a hash again. Let's try this one. Hash -identifier. We already know that this hash is an MD5 hash. Let's use hash killer. Let's crack this hash. What will happen? So this is the normal ABCD hash. See, sometimes the hash cracking part will be not much easier. It looks like, but you should know the algorithms, which algorithms they are using for encrypting the data. So over here, we know that this user is user robot, so we're going to use switch user robot and the password. See, sudo -l. Sorry, user robot may not sudo on Linux. The most important thing is to understand how the application works. So as I was introducing you the sudo executable features like this one, what exactly this find parameter, find forward slash from the path root parameter from u is equal to s type of 2, what are these things? If you are not familiar with this, you can should use sudo suid to installation, and I always go for this one. See this one, 777. Have you ever wondered what is the use of 7777 all the times? Read, write, and execution. Read, write, and execution. But from the first read, write, and execution is given to the root user. The second one is for the group user, and the third one is for the sticky users. So there are various ways that can help us to lead our information part. SUID, GUID, sticky. Same thing. SUID will be S over here. Set user ID is a type of permission that allows user to execute a file with the permission of a specific user. Those files which have SUID permission run with the higher privileges. Assume we are accessing the target system, which is a non-root user. We found pseudo ID bits enables binaries that those files, programs, commands can be run as root permissions. Yes. See this one. The total permission that we can give over here is 4755. 4 is for read, 7 is for read and execution, 5 is for read and execution, and change mode u plus s users to SUID. Check this one. This parameter value. / denote start from the top root folder. Param is denote the search for the permission. -u -s denotes the look for the files that are owned by the user root. User S for pseudo user. Type states for the types that you're looking for. F start for denote a regular files. Denotes a second file of descriptor. See, we're gonna try to use this one. And over here on the server side, we can see that the file is unique. There is a file called nmap, which is running on the server side. Let's try ls-all. Okay, sorry. ls-all. And I can see over here, let's ls-all. See, the binary of nmap is running as sudo user, as set user ID. Let's do nmap -n version. So this version is 3.8.1. Let's try to search nmap 3.8.1 exploit or vulnerabilities. Privilege selection part, security vulnerabilities. See, pseudo executable files. They are also given the same thing. We're going to try all the possibilities one by one. Let's try all the possibilities. See over here, find parameter user root permission 400. See, read execution. You have to simply set the parameter bytes. Nmap they're using version 4.5. Nmap interactive. Let's see what can we do. Nmap hyphen help. Okay, there are simple command ss, st, su, sv, and we have interactive also. Go to the interactive mode or listen. Interactive mode will give you a permission of better understanding or the better functionality. So -h. So there is a vulnerability. There was a time that Nmap below 4 is vulnerable to privilege escalation part, where an attacker can simply use the interactive mode to escalate the shell commands. See over here. -run shell command given in the configuration file. If an attacker can use this one, he can run any shell command with the help of this part. So if you run -sh, you can get user root. Who am I? I am root over here. All the things you have to do is to simply check the possibilities one by one, which can be lead us over here. The major perspective of this machine was to simply escalate the privileges and use it for the further stages one by one.